everyone. I'm Andrea Praber, broker owner of Great Expectations Realty, and this is What's Up Ocala, where we kind of sit down, have some coffee, and share a bit of gossip about your neighbors and what's going on around Ocala. So let's go ahead and find out what that has really been going on. I also happen to mention a lot of real estate stuff too once in a while in this program. So much has happened this week in Marion County, though it was difficult to know where to even get started. I guess I'll tell you about my weekend, last weekend. Have you ever thought that maybe you need to get fit? Maybe you want to work off that muffin top? Well, if you've ever needed a kick in the pants, I would say doing a 5K in the Villages will get you one. My 14-year-old daughter agreed to do one 5K per month with me this year, so I was kind of excited about that. We were feeling pretty good about ourselves. You know, we've been exercising and we've been eating healthier, and we've been doing that since the beginning of the year. So we did okay on our first 5K over at Baseline Park in January. So this month we signed up for the Running with the Herd 5K down at the charter schools in the Villages, which is only about 20 minutes from our house. Let me tell you, I felt pretty good about myself and this fitness lifestyle I'm still trying and acquiring right up until I had an entire herd of geriatrics pass by me like I was standing still. I sincerely hope someday when I grow up, I can be like them. There were easily people in their 80s that flew past me like I was walking in puddles of molasses on a cold morning. It was awesome. There were a lot of women my age and a lot of kids, even super young kids, that they were just excited to be there, excited to run and do this 5K, and it was great to see that. I loved seeing entire families walking and running together. But yes, the elderly shocked me right down to my toes because for the most part, they were by far the most in shape and the fastest, way faster than me or my teenager. So to all of you that sped past me, thank you for that piece of humble pie you left me with. And my hat's off to you for a race well run. Interesting side note about the Villages Charter Schools. In case you did not know, the Villages Charter School currently consists of 5 buildings, 3 elementary centers, 1 middle school, and then 1 high school. And they have an enrollment of just under 3,500. But in the fall of this year, the Villages Charter School will open up a K-8 center with an enrollment capacity of 2,000. And they're going to relocate the Villages High School. So with that expanded enrollment capacity of 2,000, it's going to bring the total enrollment capacity of the schools across all the buildings to about 6,500. So almost doubling it up. That's pretty cool. Something you probably noticed this week, if you were here in Ocala, Marion County, was Wednesday's horrible traffic. The entire city became I-75's detour. And what started with a semi carrying an oversized load that hit the 66th Street Bridge. That poor bridge, it just keeps getting hit. It seems like there was just a couple of years ago that the bridge was hit. I think it was summer of 2020, but that's just off the top of my head. I don't remember exactly the date, but it was just a couple of years ago. Either way, the bridge has to be repaired again, and Ocala was not just stuffed with traffic on Wednesday, but it actually became deadly. One of the detoured semis crashed into a lady making a left turn on 441-301 Pine and got hit by that semi that ran the light while blaring his horn. So I don't know if his brakes failed or if the semi driver or had some other issue. Or either way, honestly, it all goes back to that driver on I-75 that doesn't understand that the bridge height is a non-negotiable issue. And again, this is not the first time it's happened recently. So there were a lot that were stuck on I-75 in what became the I-75 parking lot for hours. One of my friends said that it was over 5 hours before they were allowed to do a U-turn, head back down south on I-75, just to then detour again and join the massive amount of traffic crawling through Ocala. It was a disaster on Wednesday and very dangerous. On another completely random note, I have a question for you. Have you ever wanted to be mayor? It's a definite possibility for you if you happen to live in the city of Dunellen, the city limits of Dunellen. Applications are being accepted, and they're due at the clerk's office by noon on February 27th, so just around the corner. The Dunellen City Council members are expected to pick someone at their next meeting that's slated for March. They meet about once a month. They're opting not to hold an expensive election and just selecting the best application from the choices that are submitted. The mayor position is going to be held by the selected applicant for 2 years. And normally it's a 4-year stint, but this will be just to fill the seat left by the former mayor of Dunellen that just left without notice last month. So there's also several key positions waiting to be filled in the city of Dunellen because of others that also left right around the same time. It was kind of a mass exodus. So yes, you could in fact be mayor of a town. Beware though, if you're any good at it, they might keep you. We're going to be right back after this break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what is going on in real estate in your neighborhood this month and this week, and also what is going on around Ocala this weekend as well as next weekend. Next weekend is where it really gets exciting. So let's go ahead and wait around for that. Be right back. Welcome back. All right, as we were just talking about, we had a lot of excitement going on around Ocala with the crazy traffic on Wednesday, and the mayor of Dunellen needing to be selected from the applicants, just all sorts of stuff going on. Well, let's talk about the real estate aspect for just a few minutes. Currently here in Marion County, in the last 7 days, we have 268 new listings that have hit the market. We currently, by the way, in case you're wondering how many houses are out there for sale right now, we have 2,654. And yes, that does include the 268 that just got added. Price increases, we had 67. Price decreases, it looks like we're heading towards another pretty good size drop. We had 366 houses that decreased their price this week alone. That's huge. It's almost 400 houses. That's crazy. That is definitely, that's a lot. So we're looking at a lot of price breaks coming in. Back on the market, we had 88 properties that went back on the market. That is really, really amazing. It might be because the interest rate keeps fluctuating. Maybe it was their own stuff with the buyers. Perhaps like one I heard about, he went out and purchased a pre-closing gift for his spouse, and unfortunately that bumped his debt to income ratio, and so now the furnishings he has for the house, he's not going to have a house for. So yeah, don't do that. I'm just going to take a real quick moment here and explain a few things to some of my listeners that have maybe never purchased real estate before. But during the time that you are applying for a mortgage, you are essentially signing up for a financial colonoscopy. That is the best way that I can possibly describe it. Anybody that's gone through it will vouch for that. They're going to take and look at everything that comes from you, financially speaking, under a microscope. So it doesn't just happen once. A lot of people are under the misunderstanding that once they have their credit pulled right at the start, they don't have to be on their best financial behavior for the duration of the closing process. That is not the case at all. It is throughout the entire process. Normally what I recommend is that you go ahead and take your credit cards and freeze your assets. That means you take your credit cards, put in a bowl of water and put it in the freezer and don't touch them. Once you've closed on the property, you can go ahead and thaw those babies out, but until that time frame, do not give your social security number to anybody for any reason, especially pulling your credit Do not pull your credit. Do not look at your credit. You do not have credit. There is absolutely nothing going on credit-wise until you are through the process of purchasing your home. Because again, your debt to income ratio has to stay the same or better than when you first applied for the mortgage. Now, this process only takes right around 30 days normally. Sometimes it goes a little bit faster. Sometimes it takes a little longer, especially if you put in the governmental alphabet soup of VA, FHA, or USDA. That can take a little bit more time because that needs a second glance. But for the most part, it takes about 30 days for this to go through. So it's only if you are applying for a mortgage, if you're purchasing cash, this does not apply to you. But if you are purchasing a home and you are asking a bank or lender to loan you a significant amount of money, you might want to make sure that your credit stays the same throughout the process. Okay, so it's only 30 days, maybe 45 max. You want to make sure that you do not go and buy an entire household of furniture and put it on credit, because that is not going to be a comfortable thing for you when you have no house and lots of furniture with nowhere to put it. So please don't do that. Please don't. So again, just remember that visual of freezing your assets and putting them in a bowl of cold water and just freezing those credit cards. I just don't want you to touch them for any reason until you are done with the process, okay? And that is on my behalf as well as yours. If you're working with us, we're going to have that little discussion already right up front. If you're not working with us and your lender or real estate agent has not explained that to you, please take these words of advice. Do not have your credit pulled. And by the way, 90 days, same as cash, is not, in fact, the same as cash. So do not let them pull your credit. Don't do it for any reason. No purchasing a car, nothing like that. Don't even go shopping for a car. You're buying a house. You're shopping for a house. That's it. 30 days. Just don't do it. I think I'm going to come off that soapbox now. Let's continue on. For those that did hit the closing table, we had 194, so that's a pretty healthy number. We had just nearly 200 houses that closed. We have 200 happy people that have moved into their new homes. So that's 194. Now pending, we have 259, also a very healthy number. It's 259 people that have looked at a house and said, this is for me. They turn in a offer and it was accepted, and now they are going through contingencies such as appraisal and inspection and stuff like that. So those are they're moving towards the closing table. They're just not quite there yet. As far as listings that were canceled, we had 31, expired 17. That consistently seems to be a high number lately. Temporarily off the market, 20. And we had 6 withdrawn from the market. So kind of interesting numbers all around right there. Now, what are the house prices in Marion County right now? Well, I just so happened to have pulled those numbers for you. The median house price for the houses that are being sold in Marion County this week, $234,000. And that's significantly lower than the median list price, which is $259,000. So while we were at $250,000 last month for our median sold price, we've now come down significantly yet again. So again, those house prices are still coming down. And if you're waiting for it to hit the bottom, the only way to know that is when it's already rebounded and is coming back up. So don't wait for you to be able to play the real estate market. Go out there. If you can afford a home, purchase a home, do it for you. Don't try and outsmart the market. It's very difficult to do, if not impossible, and sometimes you end up paying tens of thousands of dollars more and getting stuck. So don't do that to yourself. Don't do that. Just go ahead, and if you find a home that works for you, it works within your budget, go ahead and purchase a home. This is your home. Now, if you're doing investing real estate, I'm going to give you different advice for that, but this is for your home. For your home, it follows different rules. Okay, we're not looking for the bigger, better deal on this. We are looking for your home. So just keep that in mind, okay? Just keep that in mind. All right, for your national average interest rate, Going this week, we had 7.37, so it's up a bit, and that's for your 30-year fixed. But as I have been remarking upon for a couple months now, if you go to a 15-year fixed, you'll end up getting a much better deal. Not only will it be 15 years shorter in actual payments, but significantly lower interest payments as well. So interest rate for a 15-year fixed mortgage is 6.45 across the board. And those are your stats for this week. We're going to take one more real quick break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about all of the fun stuff that we are going to be able to do this weekend here in Ocala, and also some exciting stuff going on next weekend. We'll be right back for that. All right, welcome back. Today, over at our office, is our home buyer workshop. That is where we're going to be talking to people about freezing their assets, as we were just discussing. Basically, how to get through the mortgage process, what you're going to need for a mortgage process, what you're going to be able to need in order to get approved for the mortgage process. A lot of information like that. But even while your mortgage application is going through, and while you've looked and you've found a home that you like, or maybe even how to go about searching for homes and all of that, but what the actual process is to get from I like this house or I want to buy a house all the way to being handed the keys. A lot of times either people have no idea, which is completely fine. None of us knew until we were either educated or experienced in doing that. But a lot of times people will just seem a little overwhelmed by the whole process, or they self-deny, which is kind of crazy to me. They will automatically assume that they cannot qualify for a mortgage, so they don't even try. And what's really crazy is sometimes that's just not the case. They do, in fact, qualify for a mortgage. So that one I think drives me crazy the most, is because yes, you can actually purchase a home. You just think you can't. And then you are denying yourself for months, if not years, of having the goal reached of home ownership. And it's because you have just decided that it's just too good to be true, or not for you, or for whatever reason. A lot of people are really worried about their credit. Maybe they've made some mistakes in the past. There's no judgment. At our homebuyer workshops, there's absolutely no judgment whatsoever. Now, does that mean that everybody's going to get approved for a mortgage that walks through the door and says, hey, I'm here to find out how? No, not at all. However, we won't judge you for it, okay? If you need to work on some things, it's not going to be a no, how could you possibly even think of this? It's going to be, hey, this may not be for you right this second, but here's what you can do. Here's the steps for it. And let's walk hand in hand and get you to the goal of home ownership. Let's get you those keys. So maybe some people have a little bit longer path to home ownership than others. But again, no judgment. We've all been there. We have all done stupid with credit cards, or with not being able to pay something, maybe have a repossession, or all sorts of stuff. There's all sorts of stuff that can affect your ability to purchase a home. Even going so far as doing too much in student loans, and now you're going to be in debt for the rest of your life. There's so much. Sometimes it's not even your fault. Maybe you have astronomical medical bills that just did not go under the insurance. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that can happen that will negatively affect you and your ability to own a home. So once we see anything like that, we can easily work with you, figure out exactly what needs to be done in order to get you into a home of your own. And that's really our goal over here. We really want everyone that is a tenant to be able to purchase a home and own their own home. Not everyone will do that. Not everyone can do that. But that's our goal, is to help everyone and make sure that they have the tools that they need and the information, the education they need in order to get closer to that goal. It is a fantastic freedom that we have in this country to be able to own your own home. That is not the case all over the world. It's just not. So many times over, people would love to own land in their own country, and it's just not even possible. So this is something that we absolutely love. It's the American dream still, and it will change your life and your family's life, possibly for generations. So that is something that we want to help people to achieve through like home buyer workshops, for example. So again, there's no judgment, but there will be snacks. Do not worry. If you do need a little bit more help, maybe you need some help with figuring out how to do a budget, that is not a problem. We will go over that with you as well. Everybody that comes in that may need some more information on how to do personal finance, we actually give you a book from a fantastic author and also a radio show host. We give a Dave Ramsey book about budgeting and personal finance because he has something called the baby steps. And it's just basically what you need to do to walk towards that goal of home ownership and financial freedom. And that includes going way past even owning your own home and, working towards retirement even. So for so many people, that is just something that seems unachievable. And it's this huge, massive thing just hanging out there in the ether. And that's just not the case. That's definitely not the case. We want this to be available to everyone because it is their right. It is your ability and your freedom to purchase a home. We want you to be able to do that. So we do everything we can, absolutely everything that we can to help you with that goal. And that includes these monthly home buyer workshops at our office. If you would like to join us for the workshop that we're having today, it's from noon to 2. That's Saturday, February 25th, from noon to 2 p.m. And this will be at our office in Ocala. The office location is 3201 Southwest 34th Avenue, and it's Suite 102, Ocala, Florida 34474 if you're putting it in that GPS. We're over at Paddock Park, so it's right over by the Paddock Park Mall, and this is basically, it's the back of Ollie's on 200 is the back of our building as well. So we're kind of back to back with Ollie's Bargain Center up front, over kind of by Red Lobster and Wells Fargo and all of that over there. So if you're at all curious, you want to stop in, or if you just want to come in, sit down and hang out, maybe ask other questions regarding real estate. We will have a few realtors available to answer those questions. I will be there as well to answer any questions you might have, and we'll just kind of go from there. As far as other things going on here in Marion County, there is so much and so much coming up. I do want to mention something. I found it's actually kind of difficult to find when the launches are scheduled for Cape Canaveral and stuff. I've looked at a few different websites and a few different things, and they have windows when they can launch, but not necessarily the dates that it will. And anyway, I did find some launch dates, and I was really excited to find out that on February 27th, so this is Monday coming up, there will be 3 potential launches. 3! One is at 1:45 a.m. I don't know about you, but I will be out cold for that one. I don't do 1:45 out anywhere. But there are 2 scheduled at the same time at 7 p.m. 2 completely different launches scheduled for 7 p.m. So really exciting because those, I can see the launches from my front porch. It's so cool. So I love watching those. They're so neat, and there have been so many lately. So just watching that is really great. With the Falcon 9 series, it's with SpaceX, it's just so many launches have been going on because they're reusable for the most part. They have about 40 different Falcon 9 series rockets, and it's just absolutely amazing what they've been doing with the International Space Center, and even commercial travel. From what I hear, they're actually going to take people up as if you were on JetBlue, or whatever airline you fly. So really interesting stuff. I love watching them. It's really cool to see from, like I said, our front porch. So it's really, again, one of those things that are kind of taken for granted, that we can look up in the sky and watch a shuttle launch, whereas other people travel from all over the country in order to see the same thing. So really, really cool. But anyway, on Monday, yes, there will be 3 potential launches, one at 1:45 a.m. and 2 at 7 p.m. So watch the skies for that. We also have Riley Arts Center tonight, The Sounds of Hollywood. It's at 7:30 p.m. If it has not sold out, it might be great to get you a ticket for that. Also today at 1 p.m. over at Shalom Park, we have the Gnome and Fairy Festival. So that's starting at 1 p.m. and I'm sure it's going to be awesome, having an all gnome and fairy filled festival. Shalom Park really looks like it's a place for gnomes and fairies. Have you ever noticed that? It's just really, it's a really special place. It really is. So enjoy that festival. It's only $5 for parking, so why not? Why not? What's really exciting coming up is the Habitat for Humanity Strawberry Festival that just seems to get bigger and better every year. That's going to be next Saturday. So not today, but next Saturday. It's going to be the Habitat for Humanity 2023 Strawberry Festival. That's at McPherson Complex. You're like, where? That sounds familiar, but that is the complex that it's the government complex kind of over on East Fort King Street and 25th Avenue. You probably know it more because of the DMV is over there and all of that. That's what I know it for. If you were getting your permit or driver's license or something, that's what you go over there for. But anyway, so the McPherson complex is actually going to be host to the Habitat for Humanity Strawberry Festival next Saturday, March 4th. So we're hoping to be one of the vendors. We turned in our application to be one of the vendors. We will see if we are one of the accepted parties. Hopefully I will know by next weekend. But it looks like it's going to be a really great time, and we're hoping that we see you guys all out there. There's going to be lots of food, lots of games, and there's actually going to be a car show as well. So looking forward to that. All right. Well, that's it for us. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or otherwise, please let us know. Our email address is GER.expectmore@gmail.com. And hopefully we will hear from you. If you want to go ahead and make a reservation for today's event, you don't need one. Just stop on out. Again, that's for the Home Buyers Workshop. I keep wanting to say Habitat for Humanity now, but it has nothing to do with that. The Home Buyers Workshop is going to be at our office. Don't need a reservation. Just stop on in from noon to 2. And if you would like to give us a call for any other reasons, perhaps you'd like to sell your home, or if you would like to build a home, we have lots of builders that we work with. Our phone number is 352-817-9160. And the listing of the week this week is Alati, our agent extraordinaire in here. She has a 1-acre lot over in Marion Oaks, Unit 6, for only $40,000. So if you would like one of those 1-acre lots so you can build the home of your dreams, it is available to you right now at $40,000. Go ahead and give us a call again at 352-817-9160. You guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you again next time.
Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can